Yes, lads, welcome to episode 11 of the Under 23 Sorare Road to Glory. Hope you enjoy the video, and if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing. If you are completely new to Sorare and you are yet to sign up, there's a link in the description of this video, which will get you £20 worth of free credit after you've bought 5 limiteds from the new card auctions. And that £20 free credit is usable on the new card auctions and expires 7 days after you've received it. That is the intro out of the way, lads. Let's get into things. I'm bloody distraught. I can't lie. I'm absolutely heartbroken, to be honest. This series holds such a dear place in my heart, and I'm just letting you guys down. We were 10 points away from our first reward. I know it would only have been a tier 5, but at this point, lads, we need a reward just to kick us off. And to be this close from a reward, 346 points in under 23 limited is just painful. Our new signing Klein Hansel came in hot. That's like seriously hot. 100 on his debut for us. Clearance off the line in a 2-0 loss, by the way. Absolutely insane. I think his price is up to like £7 now. I think I paid like £3, so could sell him for a decent amount of profit, to be fair, but that is not what we're into here. We want to build a gallery, and we want to use him, for the rest of the season. So he will be staying with us despite his price increase, lads. And, Campos got the clean sheets, kind of expected it. Not much AA to, really shout about, but the clean sheet was in. He did what we asked him to do. But unfortunately, Eccles, Monchu, and Driouech, there's some nice AA from Monchu, 21 AA in a 2-0 home victory, just no decisive, which was, gutting, to be honest. Eccles, 16.7 AA. I mean, I expected a little bit better. They lost 1-0 away to Bristol City. I'm always wary, of the away fixtures. And yellow card, a couple of fouls, never obviously helps. This is an interesting one for me, though. 14 penalty area entries, right? But no attempted assists. So I guess he's just crossed to no one 14 times there. But yeah, that's an interesting little stat. And Driouech, lads, I don't know what happened to Excelsior, by the way. They lost 4-2 at home to Peck's Wall. I really didn't expect it. Big chance missed is the highlight, or the low light, I guess, here in his score. 8.9 all around, which is still decent. A lot of duels won from him. A tackle, which you don't really get points for as a forward. And he was fouled as well. So yeah, gutted about the big chance miss. That basically costs us, doesn't it, really? Like, if he doesn't get that big chance miss and he scores, we effectively get a tier 4. And those are the fine margins of just not winning on Sorare. It's that one big chance missed. It's that tackle that wasn't a tackle, or whatever it is. It's just so frustrating. But sometimes I'd prefer just to score 300, and then I'm like 50 points away, and I don't really care as much. But the fact that we are so close just makes it just crazy painful. I can't lie. I'm a little bit bunged up, lads. If you can hear a different tone in my voice, that is probably because I don't think my immune system's taken too well to this bitterly cold Welsh weather. So I'm back from the US, and I'm just gutted to not be able to open a reward for you guys. I have had some suggestions in the comments section. I've also had some help as well, which I'll highlight as well, because we did play a 240 lineup this weekend, or last weekend. Big thanks to Germ, one of the loyal supporters of the series. Massive shout out to you, mate. You have given us a Kampolat goalkeeper who plays in the Turkish league. He's under 23 actually, which is helpful. And he's able to act as a 240 keeper for us, in which we can attempt to win some of these thresholds, the $5. And I did have another comment on the most recent video, which basically said, I think you should give away all the rewards that you do eventually win at the end of the season as a reward for everyone watching the videos. I was thinking, maybe do it weekly, but I think it makes more sense to do it annually, effectively. I can then hopefully snowball the gallery in that sense and accumulate cards and use those cards to win more cards, etc., rather than giving away every reward I win weekly. So massive shout out to you guys watching for helping me out / suggesting things for the benefit of the series. So I really appreciate it. We fell short as well here, lads. Shock horror. Cap 240 limited, 260 points on our debut. Mohamed Cham with the decisive. Unfortunately, we got our captain wrong. Mateus Ryu did play, but they drew 2-2. Really poor game from him. We should have captained Cham, obviously. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. I mean, we would have been closer to the 280 points needed, but I don't think we would have got there. Balki was a really interesting one. I mean, they conceded pretty late on Antalyaspor, and he lost the clean sheet. And and whatever. So yeah, that was really disappointing. And yeah, our goalie weren't able to get the clean sheet, but a 24 AA, and hopefully our near misses this past weekend can turn into some decent results this weekend. So taking a look at the gallery, we haven't actually bought any new cards. We were, like I said, lucky enough for Germ to donate us this Cam Pullat under 23 goalkeeper. So we now have 16 cards in the gallery. And I'm at a stage where, well, I don't really have a budget to buy any more cards. I have £2.81 to spare. But, you know, I'm not really at a stage where I want to really sell anyone, and nor do I really want to buy anyone. I don't really have the money to do so. So I'm at a stage where, like, I think I've accumulated enough cards now to where I just need them to go perform. I need to just pick 5 players and them go perform. Like, you know, we were close this weekend, obviously, and you know, we were basically a Mohamed Cham goal away, or you know, playing Cham over an Eccles or a Monchu away from getting a reward. So we're knocking on the door. Like, we're very close. It's not as if this team can't produce good scores. Like, I am producing decent enough scores. I'm just not getting my picks right. And that's just the unfortunate part of Sorare. Sometimes you do just get your matchups wrong, your picks wrong. And at the end of the day, you're not going out there and playing. And you just got to rely on the cards, the players to go do the business for you. But I am confident that they will come good eventually. If we go over to Play Sharper, we're going to have a little look at the starter predictions and the expected scores of the boys for this weekend, right? Klein Hansel's at the top. He's at 90% on to start, which is great. They play away to Firth, which is a good fixture, I think. Even though Osnabrück aren't a great team, I do think them playing Firth, who are like quite low down as well in the league, could be a good fixture for him. And yeah, he's on fire right now, so he'll definitely be in contention for this weekend. Nicholas Madsen actually came off the bench, thankfully, for Westerlo on the weekend. Still not a starter yet, at 20% on Play Sharper, according to the experts, which I don't disagree with, to be fair. That kind of sounds pretty right. Kuheb Driowecz is at 75%, which he basically normally is every weekend. They play away to Volendam, which I am quite excited about as a fixture. Eccles is at home. He's at 90%, which we love to see. I think Badji came off the bench last weekend. He's expected to be a bench player this weekend as well. 20% on to start, away to Eupen, who's actually a good fixture. Campos is at 90%, which is great. They're away from home. Monchu's at 95%, as he is basically every weekend. The Greenkamp predictions aren't out yet for Rio, but they play away to Bastia, which doesn't sound like a great fixture, if I'm honest. Yuito Suzuki came off the bench as well, but he probably won't be a starter this weekend despite being at home. Balki's at 90%. They have a decent home fixture, which we love to see. Duhara's at 75%, which is interesting. They have a really good fixture, I think, against Villarreal too. So I am quite interested in that one there. Jack Mayer and Nashville are in the playoffs now. He's at 80% away to Orlando. Jorgen Larsson's at 70% away to Girona, which we don't mind seeing. Jasper Darlin's actually back in the starting 11 at Cercle Bruges, which is great. They play away to Mechelen. And our most recent arrival into the gallery, Cam Pullat, is at 80%. Hopefully we can get some monster AA from him. And we're going to go over to the lineup builder, lads, and start building our 2 lineups. We now have the possibility to build 2 lineups. Big thanks to Germ, obviously, for making that possible. So under 23 limited is always going to be the priority, but we are also going to have that Cap 240 limited as well. Try and earn some Ethereum, try and churn those thresholds. And yeah, obviously we have 2 goalkeepers to choose from now in the under 23 category, because Cam Pullat is obviously under 23. They're at home, Pendixspor, but they play Fenerbahce, right? So I think Campos is an easy pick here out of those 2. And I think we're in a position now, lads, with our defenders where I think everyone should start. Even Matthias Ria, I know he's 89% here in the community projections, but I do fancy him to start. Not that I'm really interested in playing him, because we do have some decent picks up here. Klein Hansel, away from home, like we said, to Fruth, but they aren't great. He seems to just score well regardless, whether they get a clean sheet or not. So he's a pretty good bet, I think, for this weekend. Balki, I keep saying it, but you know they do have a good matchup this weekend. They play a team lower than them in the league in Istanbul, and I'm just praying that he can just get that 20-30 AA that he's capable of. I've seen him do it, but recently he's just gone off the boil a little bit, hence the L5. So, you know, I have to go with form. I do think matchups play a massive role in, you know, picking your lineups, but I am also somebody that, you know, favours form. I think Klein Hansel's form's been great. Not to say that Balki won't outscore him this weekend, but, you know, my eggs are in the Klein Hansel basket for this weekend just because of how well he's been playing. Despite Balki being at home, we might play both of them. We'll definitely play them both with, you know, across both lineups. But I think Klein Hansel has to get the nod here. I think Darlin has a good matchup as well. Albeit away to Mechelen, I still think it's decent. We're going to throw Klein Hansel in there for now. I think that's the safest, easiest sort of decision for us to make. And then, you know, midfielder-wise, we basically have 3 choices. It's Eccles, Monchu, or Cham. Cham scored last weekend. So, you know, on form, you'd have to say Cham realistically, right? but they play at home to Nice. An 8% 3 goals scored probability isn't ideal, I gotta be honest. So I'm not too in love with playing him. And he has the lowest L15, so possibly could be useful in Cap 240 again, like last weekend where we played him. Monchu with an A pick score fixture, away to A-bar. I'm not in love with the fixture, but I'm not totally against it. And then we've got Josh Eccles with a double A pick score fixture at home to West Bromwich Albion. 17% 3 goals scored or more. Like, I look at this Sorare data thing and I'm just like, it's obviously Eccles. He has a double A pick score. Like, I think this pick score thing is great and it's a real cool feature. But like, sometimes I just get too sucked into it and I'm like, surely Eccles is the best option there. But, you know, what stops Cham from scoring a goal at, you know, at home to Nice? Nothing at the end of the day. So I am sometimes blinded by it, and maybe you guys are as well. And maybe, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. This AI pick score thing is great. You know, it does seem to work a lot of the time. But, you know, like last weekend, you know, we picked Monchu and Eccles, and Cham ended up getting the goals. You know, maybe I am blinded, but I think Eccles being at home, you know, the opposition scores pretty high when centre midfielders play against West Brom. So, you know what, lads? We're going to go with the pick score this weekend and go with Eccles. Up front, we've got Quabe, Driouech, Larson and Duhara. Duhara is at 75% on Play Sharp. I am interested in having a look further at what this is all about because Leganes are top of the league. They're a great team at home. Duhara's at 75% according to the predictions, which is nice to see if I'm being honest. And it's a really good home fixture. And I just can't see how Leganes doesn't score a couple goals here. So even though the community predictions on Sorare data seem to think he's not going to play, it's basically because he didn't play last weekend. It's kind of how I'm reading into that. Larson plays away to second in the league, Girona. I don't love that fixture, but Girona do concede goals. Quabe Driouech is obviously the most in form in that sense, I would say. Double A pick score, 100% on to start. Away to Volendam, who are absolutely shocking. I think all three of our forwards are actually decent options, genuinely. Like, I'm quite tempted to go double forward this weekend. Like, I can't not play Driouech, even though he's away from home. Duhara's really talking to me. Like, we can't play Driouech in Cap 240 realistically. His cap's too high. So I think he has to play in here. And it's a good fixture. Who's the extra player? I mean, it's basically either Balki, Monchu, Cham. I'm also interested in Duhara, genuinely. I think Duhara could do really well. But then he could also do pretty well in Cap 240 for us. So, you know, I don't want to get blinded by the $240, $5 too much. Like, I really want the under-23 limited team to do well, first and foremost. And then it's a bonus if we hit, you know, the threshold. So I am tempted to go double forward, lads. And then we'd have to be... we'd be forced to play Larson as, you know, our Cap 240 forward. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to go Klein Hansel captain. Lineup strength doesn't enjoy us too much because of this Duhara situation. Let's see what the Cap 240 limited would look like. So it'd have to be Campolat in goals. We'd probably have to go with Balki here, wouldn't we? In midfield, I'm inclined to go with Cham, to be honest. And then up front, we'd have to go with Larson. Leaves us with 65 for, you know, the extra position. So we could basically pick anyone, to be honest. Monchu is definitely an option. Darland, maybe. I think I would probably go with Monchu, though. I think his AA game is pretty good to where, you know, if he doesn't get a DA here, his 15 to 20 AA could be really helpful in, you know, hitting that 280 points. I'd probably be inclined to captain Balki or Cham. Going two forwards in under 23 limited is brave. But genuinely, I do think Duhara could come up trumps for us this weekend in under 23 limited. So I think that is what we're going to go with. I'm going to go over to Sorare and input these teams. We're going to go with Duhara and we're going to captain Klein Hansel. We've got two 3D cards in here, which is fun. I think they're the only two 3D cards we actually own in the whole series / gallery. But 240 lineup is going to look something like Campolat. We're going to go with Balki, Monchu, Jorgen Larson, and where is Mohamed Cham? Captain. And I think, lads, that is going to be the teams for this upcoming weekend. I've just noticed I have 3 Friday fixtures here, which 4 Friday fixtures. Cham plays on Friday as well. We've got Klein Hansel, Monchu, Larson and Cham all playing Friday. Oh my god. I'm not into that. I can't lie. I think the Friday curse is going to come after me big time here. I can't let it affect me too much as far as like picking the cards. Like, it is what it is. I can't do much about it. But that is stinking. I hate the look of that. Right, lads, I hope you have enjoyed episode 11 of the series. I hope we can get a reward this weekend. I hope we can also hit the threshold and get us that $5. If you've enjoyed the video, please do leave it a like. I wish you all the best for this upcoming game week. Hope there's some rewards out there for you. And I shall see you guys in the next episode.